Climate change.
Climate change.
Climate change.
Climate change. Climate change poses immediate risks to our national security. We should act like it.
We have quite a serious climate risk that we're facing.
That's right, Parker. Earth is our home, and we are destroying it with carbon dioxide and methane. Our homes on this beautiful planet emit around 20% of the United States' total carbon emissions, and each home in the United States produces around 7.5 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. Northeastern Ohio is home to around 4.5 million residents. That is around 139 million homes, which produce roughly 64 million tons of carbon dioxide per year. That is around 23 tons per person, higher than the national average.
Stop! This is too big of an issue. Nothing I do will ever matter. I mean, as you said, Cuyahoga County emits 64 million tons of carbon dioxide each and every year. We're all gonna die. What do I do?
Luca, snap out of it!
Luca! Stop talking like that. There's so much you can do as an individual to help.
There's nothing I can do. What can I do?
Hey, there's a lot of stuff that we can do actually. And guess what we're gonna do in this video? We're gonna tell you about your family's energy and food consumption and how that impacts your carbon footprint and what you can do to improve it over the next 5 to 10 years.
But how can I help? What can I do to fix this problem?
Well,
you can learn about it on Crash Course. Hello everyone, welcome to Crash Course. My name is Bea Hardiker and I'm here to tell you about the food and energy consumption of your family and how that impacts your carbon footprint. Let's head to the research bubble.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam and welcome to the research bubble. First we need to get some stats down. As I said before, Northeast Ohio produces roughly 64 million tons of carbon dioxide per year, with the average household in the United States producing 7.5 tons per year. In addition, each of these houses consumes around 147 kilowatt hours of energy per square meter. Yeah, I know, it's a lot. Now let's focus on some common appliances and how they affect your family's carbon footprint per year. 8-minute showers per year is 1,368 pounds of carbon. Lighting is 73 pounds of carbon. Heating, 6,389 pounds of carbon. Air conditioning, 2,263 pounds of carbon. Washer and dryer, 1,606 pounds of carbon. And your TV, 1,608 pounds of carbon. That's a lot of carbon that each household produces each year. And these are just some of the common appliances you have in your house.
So now we're going to look at the most common Cleveland neighborhoods and how much carbon emissions the average home in that area produces. Notice the trend? Wealthier suburbs tend to have carbon footprints around 25% higher per capita than those of lower income residents. The University of Michigan even found that affluent residents can have footprints around 15 times higher than nearby neighborhoods. It's time to take action. Let's further discuss this in the Hope Bubble.
Welcome to the Hope Bubble, folks. Let's lay out a few key methods you can implement at your own home to decrease your energy consumption and thus your carbon footprint. First, let's focus on appliances. It's simple. Take a 6-minute shower instead of an 8-minute shower and save around 342 pounds of carbon emissions annually. Replace 75-watt incandescent bulbs with 19-watt compact fluorescent lamps or LEDs to save 55 pounds of carbon emissions annually. For every degree you lower your thermostat below 70 in the winter, you can save up to 320 pounds of carbon emissions annually. Yeah, 1 degree below 70 and you shave 320 pounds off your carbon footprint. It's easy. In the summer, open your windows instead of using the AC to save around 2,050 pounds of carbon emissions. And 90% of the electricity in a washing machine goes to just heating the water. Wash your clothes in cold water and you will save around 72 pounds of carbon emissions annually. And if you line or rack dry your clothes, you will save around 723 pounds of carbon emissions annually. Plug TVs into a power strip and turn them off when not in use to save 240 pounds of carbon emissions annually. Wow, dense stuff. Hey, at least there's hope. Although lowering energy consumption is super beneficial, there's even more that we can do from our own homes to reduce our carbon footprint, and it all has to do with food. Did you know that in Ohio, there's around 26 million tons of food waste per year? That is almost 2 tons per person. Let's head back to the research bubble where Luca will give us the rundown on food consumption and how it impacts our environment.
When we think of greenhouse gas emissions, our minds might jump to transportation or industry. But what we don't think about is the food that's put on our plates, where it comes from, and how it contributes to our carbon footprint. Agriculture, one of the largest human endeavors on Earth, is responsible for 1/4 of annual greenhouse gas emissions, more than every form of transportation combined. According to National Geographic, farms take up 38% of all ice-free land, most of which is not even used for human consumption. 25% of the food grown on these farms is thrown out and lost, wasting a plot of land the size of Argentina.
Did you know that 40% of landfills in Northeast Ohio are filled with food waste? According to the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. So how are you going to help? A program in Cuyahoga County found that an average citizen wasted roughly 31 pounds of food per week. If this food was composted instead of thrown away, it would reduce the amount of methane released into the atmosphere significantly. It's really simple. Middlebury College composts too. 90% of their food waste, which is 370 tons, is generated into 1,500 cubic yards of compost annually. If Middlebury College can do this, so can your family.
There is also more that our families can do to reduce our carbon footprint, and it all has to do with meat. The meat and dairy industry is accountable for at least 14.5% of the world's total greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, the average American consumes 3/4 of a pound of meat daily, equating to 45 pounds of carbon emissions. Therefore, if they removed meat from the diet, it would reduce their annual greenhouse gas emissions by 8 tons. You could even become flexitarian, meaning you reduce your meat intake by only 75% to save around 5 tons of carbon emissions per year.
Currently, a study by the National Academy of Sciences estimates that 60% of all mammalian mass is livestock. By eating less meat, the livestock industry requires less space, allowing for more wild areas, better biodiversity, and a healthier planet.
Let's recap a bit on the most efficient and effective ways to limit your family's carbon footprint. These are all per the Forest Preserves. First, reduce your food waste. Second, reduce meat consumption. Third, compost. Fourth, purchase goods from local and sustainable distributors. 5, keep your thermostat under 70 degrees in the winter to save 320 pounds of carbon per degree. 6, take a shorter shower. 8 minutes to a 6-minute shower can save you around 342 pounds of carbon per year. 7, y'all, 90% of the electricity in a washing machine just goes to heat the water. Wash all your clothes in cold water and you will save around 72 pounds of carbon emissions annually. Do your part and follow these small guidelines to limit the carbon footprint at your house in northeastern Ohio. Let's reduce 64 million tons of carbon in northeastern Ohio to 18 million tons of carbon to meet the Paris goals by 2025. Only 3 years. And there are only 7 years left until climate change is irreversible. The clock is ticking. What will you do to stop it?